Welcome to the online Wakeman's Music Emporium.
There was nothing like this when I was a kid. As I'm now 70, you can probably understand why there's so many different CDs and programs, because I never wasted any of the years when I was recording. In fact, there's some things down here that are so rare, I don't even recognise them myself. There's some interesting things, bits of fun, like the theme that I wrote for Noisy Notes, which is that's as rare as Rocking Horse Plot, that is. That's a wonderful charity that helps children who have no knowledge of music, who have never even seen orchestral instruments. They get to see them all. There's a wonderful thing we hold every year called the Noisy Notes Concerts, which is great fun. So if you have kids, young kids or grandchildren who are interested, keep your eye out for Noisy Notes. That's really good. There's other stuff here which is fantastic. The original, obviously, we've done a repressing of the Journey to the Centre of the Earth, which has got all the original booklets and various bits and pieces inside, which is great. Highly recommended. I've got one. White Rock. For years, people wanted White Rock on CD. Here you go. Here it is, with a picture of me on the back when I was 27, and a lot younger than I am now. Of course, the other thing that a lot of people wanted was No Earthly Connection, and here it is. But look at this. Talk amongst yourself for a minute. Here it is. On the original, we had a piece of silver foil. We've got it on this one too. And what it is, for those of you who are not old enough to remember the original comes out, this was a really clever design of a cover by Fabio. And if I could fold this up, it's very hard when you're using one hand, but you'll get the sort of the idea. You fold this into a tube, you put it on the top, and you see everything. It's really clever, and the same on the back as well. So that's been faithfully reproduced for this, which any other CDs or versions don't have. In fact, even the vinyl, I don't think has it anymore. So there's a little rarity. Worth buying just for the foil. What else we got here? The original King Arthur. Now I've got to say, both the original King Arthur and the, which has got the booklet and everything, and the original Journey, I personally, if I was unbiased, I would also buy the new version of Journey, which has got all the missing music. Actually, that's Return. All the missing music, and the same with King Arthur, which has got all the missing music. Because when these were recorded, you could only get 36 minutes on an album, 38 and I'd written a lot more music for both Journey and Arthur. So it's quite interesting to, if you get hold of the original Journey and the original Arthur, and then get the remake of Journey, the remake of Arthur, and play them, you'll see how it developed into what it is today. And of course, we're doing the final two live, incredibly long versions of Journey at the Royal Festival Hall on the 13th and 14th of July. And that probably will be the last time we will do them in the UK, because it's too expensive. It's my birthday present to myself. There's some interesting things here as well. One of my neighbours on the Isle of Man was Norman Wisdom, and I helped him to put an album together. He came running up the drive, jumped up, and I caught him, which is just as well really, because he's a living icon. What we've got down here, this, look at this. This was the Piano Odyssey Snow Glow. I love this. Yeah, it's now these are worthwhile for Christmas. And for me, it's Christmas every day. Now these are fantastic badges. These are made by a wonderful young lad and his friends called Hunter Ailing, and all the money from these goes to their charity at the school, which is great. So that's worth buying a badge. They're only £500 each. Actually, how much are they?
£2.
Oh, sorry, £2. It's got £500 on the back, so they should be £500, but you can get these for £2, which is great. Programs, of course. There's more CDs. Some great films and DVDs there. Phantom of the Opera, that's the Lorne Chaney version that I do, which I actually, to be very honest with you, I'm very proud of. Gas Tank. How many people ask about Gas Tank? There's some classic stuff on there. This is all stuff that we've managed to find over the years and put together that people thought were missing forever. There's the real Listomania there, and Listomania. It's just wonderful to find out what is out there and manage to put it together again and have it all in our shop. And I have a magic hand that's just handed me, how about this, cassettes. Now don't laugh, but they've started producing cassettes again because people love them. Something like 50% of cars still on the road have cassette recorders in them. Mine do, so these are fantastic fun, and this stuff is getting so rare now. But as I say, the CD plants are closing down, and vinyl plants are opening up, and so are cassettes now. There you go. So there's something. Go out and buy a car with a cassette player in, then you'll find out how they work. Thank you very much. This is interesting. This is a book. We have a little publishing company called Haggertas, and this is a book, a children's book full of, an adult's book full of lots of paintings, which is actually, this was actually produced by my wife, hence Rachel Wakeman. I don't have a sister, that is my wife. And we are making an audio version of this with music as well. The book is doing incredibly well, and it was designed as a book because I've got 11 grandchildren that I know of, and the thing about it is that the mum and dad can read it, and the kids can look at the pictures when they're young, and as they get older they can then take over and read it at the same time. So that's that, and the magic hand comes out again. Thank you. The Piano Portraits Tour programme. We still keep all of the old programmes because it's amazing the number of people that like to buy old programmes to, just to keep up with the history of the things that have happened. This particular programme has a cover mount with stuff on it, which we try and put rare stuff and things on it. Magic hand. You see, we did some of the programme. This was a tour that I did in 2009, Christmas concert. It was called Sadly the Queen Can't Make It. This was during the period when I never wrote anything sensible in programmes, and in fact a lot of people were wonderfully insulted, including my kids. And here we go, vinyl, my classics, and my classics, no longer in existence, and that was great. Patrick Stewart narrating, a lot of great people on it, Ozzy Osbourne. It was just great fun to do. Cost an absolute fortune, but worth every penny of EMI Classics money. And great Roger Dean cover as well, here with Journey to the Centre of the Earth, when we put it back together again with all of the missing music, which I'm so proud of. And again, Roger Dean cover. It's just amazing things can still move forward and things all the time. This was a program that was put together to cover 4 or 5 different kinds of shows, which was good fun. There's so many different programs and things floating around. Some of them are, thank you, hand. Simply acoustic. This was done many, many years ago. And this is, would you believe, this is what's called, for those of you who are under the age of 40, this is what's called a video. And yes, we still stock videos because there are some people who still have video recorders. Thank you, hand. And I'll put that up the right way. This speaks for itself, really. One of our most popular line of very positive t-shirts that we do. Highly recommended. A lot of wives buy these for their husbands, and a lot of husbands buy them for themselves. What else we got here, hand? Piano Odyssey, the album I did with a small string orchestra and choir last year, which incredibly proud of, because both this and Piano Portraits, which is around somewhere, is it around somewhere?
It's around somewhere.
It's around somewhere. Anyway, it's around, but both Piano Odyssey and Piano Portraits, I was really proud of, because they both trundled into the top 10, which was great.
But I'm going to have to knock it on the head now because, as I said, I'm 70 and I need the toilet. Donny Osmond. Donny Osmond for One Night Only. Oh, I think that was made by his wife. Oh, no.